What's up YouTube? My name's Dave. Welcome to Studio Motors. On this episode, we're gonna go over some stuff about who I am, what the company is, Studio Motors, what we've done up to now, where we're going in the future. Subscribe, stay tuned, you're gonna see some really cool stuff. Back home in Armenia, my dad was a mechanic and he serviced all types of cars. He worked for a shop, but also had his own setup and little shop build out at home. And I used to love seeing all the cars coming in and out. And I always wanted to do stuff with cars. At a very young age, I started selling crashed cars in crashed condition. Didn't pay much. It was a lot of work. And it was a great learning experience. And that's where I started. And right before Studio Motors, I was in the tax industry and I absolutely hated it. I thought it was very important that I stick with a career that I'm gonna call a career, and it didn't matter to me what I was gonna make doing it as long as I really enjoyed what I'm doing. I wasn't stressed out. Let's take a look at the 2001 BMW M-coupe. Now, this car is a very special car, and it's actually very special to me as well. So when I was growing up, BMWs were like the closest thing to like full-on sports cars that, you know, we could afford and build out. The fact that they put the E46 engine in here was a game changer for this thing. So this car started life as a Z3, then they made the M-coupe version under wraps at BMW, which we're gonna cover in a separate video for this car because believe me, it deserves its own video. It's a very rare car. It's really becoming a collector's car. Extremely fun to drive, very analog, very manual. It's a feeling I genuinely missed. And this one is a Estoril blue with a blue interior. I believe there's only 51 of these combos made with the S54 engine, so there's only 51 of these. Interior is in really good shape. Car in general is in good shape. It's a very healthy car. I did not buy this car to collect it or to keep it stock. I bought it to enjoy it. And I'm going to upgrade the suspension heavily to give it a really good driving experience and some more fun stuff coming its way very soon. So we're gonna show you the build out of this vehicle. I'm really excited about owning it. It's such a cool and fun car to drive. If you are into the M-coupes, if you're into BMWs, if you want to see more on this car specifically on our builds, definitely subscribe to the channel because you're going to see step-by-step process of this car getting built. Literally started with nothing. I put everything I had in Studio Motors and it was a big gamble. I sold off my tax practice and got into cars because that's what I enjoyed. I think it's very important to be passionate about the product and service that you are selling. We started providing cars for a younger generation of celebrities, for studios, producers, executives, musicians, just anything in entertainment. And it really took off. This is a 2019 Vantage. I got it right as the Vantage was just coming out, and I got it in the signature color that they released the car in, which was lime essence. When I picked this one out, I went for a really loaded one. So this car had a window sticker close to 200K, I think. It was like 190 something. It's got everything I wanted in the car. One of our guys, Thomas, he owns a Flugplatz blue version of this car, which is actually a dope video that's coming up. So anybody that's into Astons or Vantages, or you're considering one, I do a really good side-by-side of the blue versus the green, a track build versus a more of a luxury build, and it's a twin turbo, it's a hot V, really good engine, really fun engine. I believe the entire exhaust system was developed by Aston strictly, so even though it's an AMG engine and has a lot of the sound characteristics, the pops, snapples, and cracks, the way they tuned the engine, the way they designed the exhaust system, it sounds a lot more Aston. And this isn't a car that you purchase because it's the fastest 0 to 60, or that you can't get anything better for 200K or any of that. You purchase this car because it's just an absolute dream car. Really enjoy this, and it's the perfect thing when you're not trying to roll gears, when you want so much torque that you're like just comfortable cruising around. When you smash the pedal, it sounds good, it drives nice, it handles well. It is a little bit of a pig. You feel its weight a little bit, but it does a great job stopping that weight, gets that weight going, and handling it in corners. So this Wrangler I bought off of Iggy when we got a Rolls. So she traded this in, and I was just gonna sell the car, but I decided to keep it and work on it and build it and learn what all this Jeep craze is about. You know, like people going out, breaking stuff on their cars, getting dirty, getting muddy, coming back with a tan and dust everywhere. What's the fascination with this? You know, I got so many of my clients building these things and buying them. and I just wanted to learn it and see what it's about. And I absolutely fell in love with the culture. So this car is a 2015 Jeep Wrangler Unlimited Rubicon. Now, it's gone through some major changes and it keeps going through some changes. It's currently supercharged. The suspension's fully built. And I put a lot into this car, mechanically and interior-wise as well. We have Apple CarPlay in there, we got carbon interior trim, we got a great sound system that absolutely bangs. So it's a really cool car, it's a really fun car. I originally started building it as a rock crawler, as like a general off-roading vehicle, and then little by little, and this is the sports car fan in me coming out, but little by little I wanted to transition it into a Baja runner. Tire carrier and everything's gone, stubby bumpers all around to shave some weight. Only thing I regret is I didn't go with aluminum bumpers, which would save a lot more weight. It's really not the easiest thing shaving weight off of a Jeep when you keep adding beefier, stronger, bigger, heavier parts to it. So a lot of stuff has been done on these things. I'm gonna tell you in a separate video the mistakes that I made while I was building it, what I learned while I was building it, what I would avoid, and just in general, what we do with this car. So got some really cool stuff coming. It's absolutely fun. If you are considering the Jeep even a little bit, just do it, get one. Get one, you will not regret it, especially the JLs, the new generation of Jeeps. Night and day difference with the JKs. You get an SUV, you get a convertible, you could rip the doors off of it. It's just so cool. It's a massive Lego. You could buy one of them and keep it completely stock and thoroughly enjoy it. You could mildly upgrade it, just a high enough lift to where you don't have to change any drivetrain or steering components, or you could go all out with it. Every single part on this thing is replaceable. It's not just about getting into a car, it's all about planning how to get out of the car. And it's not until you crunch all the numbers, put everything on paper, that you know that. So this is my absolute baby. This thing is a 1999 Ferrari F355 Berlinetta, or F355 GTB. And this thing is one of the most mint ones on the market. I spent such a long time chasing a car down. There was a couple of requirements I had. I had to make sure that I have a gated manual and not the F1 transmission. So this car carries, I guess, two different names. The ones that got the F1 gearbox are typically called 355 F1. The ones that got the gated manual are called F355. So if you see F355 as the badge, you know that's the gated manual version of the car. If you see 355 F1 as the badge, you know that's the F1 paddle transmission. One thing that the modern Ferraris don't give us are gated manuals. This is one of the very last cars with a gated manual in it. It's the last handmade Ferrari. There are some downsides to that. Like every 3 years when you do the belt service on the car, the whole engine has to come out. It's a very expensive process, very time-consuming process, and it's a little bit of a pain in the ass. Whereas the more modern ones right after this, when it jumped to the 360, you no longer have to pull the engine out to do the service on it. So it's a much more livable car, the 360, but I wanted to experience a certain era of Ferrari. Plus, this was my poster car. Growing up, I was in high school. This was absolutely unattainable to me. And I've gone through some modern exotics and sports cars. I wanted to go backwards and capture an era. So this is my first old Ferrari. I've never owned an older Ferrari before, and we do sell quite a bit of the older Ferraris, but I believe that if I'm gonna sell a product or represent a product, unlike just, you know, some guys see it as metal, hey, it's metal, I buy it for this much, I sell it for this much, I take a lot of pride in being knowledgeable about it. This is a GTB model, which is also called the Berlinetta, which is the coupe. The coupe and the GTS model retain the most value. F1 transmission cars don't retain a lot of value. Spiders, the convertible version of the car, doesn't retain a lot of value, and I wanted to pick up a car that was like in absolute pristine condition. This was the closest thing I could find to it. This one particularly has the carbon buckets, sport seats directly from the Ferrari factory. Now this is back in 1999, which makes it extremely special. Like the use of carbon and things wasn't like widely spread at the time. So to have carbon buckets straight from the Ferrari factory, I felt like was just the absolute icing on the cake. The guys at Brixton set us up with the incredible set of wheels. If you're into high-end wheels, really good wheels, really engineered down to the T, GT. Brixton is your guys, and we're gonna have a dope episode on them. So subscribe so you can check out that Brixton episode, show them some love as well. I'm super excited about this thing. It drives like a dream, checks off all the boxes for me. Gated manual, naturally aspirated, 3.5 liter V8. So typically cars run 2 valves per cylinder, 4 valves per cylinder. This one has an odd number, 5 valves per cylinder, and it makes for the most amazing engine noise you have ever heard. It is not fast by today's standards. I think we're pushing close to about 400 horsepower, nothing crazy, but for its time, it was very fast. And in today's world, even though it's not the fastest thing, you really have a great time driving it. You really have a great time because just the overall feel, the shifting, the clanking, the mechanicalness of the car, the exhaust note, it's the closest thing to a Formula One car when it flies by, and not the modern Formula One cars, the older ones that were really screeching where you needed earplugs. That's what it sounds like. Phenomenal. This one specifically has a Capristo exhaust on it with a valve control, so it's especially cool. Can't wait to share the experience of acquiring this car with you guys, the experience of owning this car, and where we're going with it, and all the cool stuff that we do with it. So this one's really special to me. It's my newest one, and to put it in perspective, I replaced a 2018 Lamborghini Huracan 2-wheel drive with a 1999 Ferrari. So we go through all types of vehicles here, but these are my 4 personal cars, and I wanted to share that with you guys so you know who I am, who you're watching, what to expect to see moving forward, and also a lot of really cool reviews on new and upcoming cars, and some old cars as well. Please like, subscribe, definitely share, and see you guys next week. Dave, Studio Motors, checking out.